doing? I thought I said, you cut your hair. You cut it a little bit, but it's actually pinned up in the back, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's actually it's the grown out Joan Jett hair. I haven't cut the Joan hair.
I'm feeling the Joan Jett vibe here.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
It's probably the it's a drastic color to have.
Right.
My hair's never my hair. You know what I mean? It's always for like a part. It's a weird thing because hair is so defining as well.
Right. Right. It's been a while since you and I first met. We were doing the junket for Twilight. What is the biggest part of your life that has changed since then?
My life has completely changed since then. I mean, besides the fact that I'm more busy, I'm suddenly, I'm doing something that I normally did sort of intermittently all the time. Like I've been working since I was as an actor since I was like 9 years old. This has just been like the only difference is that it's so concentrated. Do you know what I mean? It's just that it's sort of Twilight all the time. Which I'm really glad that it's like I'm really glad that I'm attached to this particular franchise.
Really? So no regrets doing Twilight because your private life is so public now, and because people are always after you. You know, the photographers are always chasing you. No regrets at all for signing up?
No. I mean, like, there's two very different, it's like, people sort of, being open and private are two really different things. It's like you can still be completely open about what you love to do and stay private. I mean, you just have to, like, pick and choose and own what you want to own. But, like, at the same time, I get to also every single day talk about something that I'm not fighting to get out there. Usually, like, independent film actors are always, like, vying for the spot.
Please, let's talk about the movie. Absolutely. Okay, let me show you one picture. Very sexy.
That's me and Rob.
That's you and Rob. Now, I'm not going to ask you the question that everybody asks because I know you value your privacy.
I do.
But do you ever think that photos like this or vague answers kind of fuel the rumors and that people want to see you together so badly because there's such a good chemistry between you two?
Sure. Yeah, I guess it's funny that people would have a vested interest in who I wind up with or who he winds up with. I think that if I were to answer any question, and I'm sure that this even, like the way I'm answering this is tipping one side, ooh, this is obvious that I'm sure that like people will take from this what they will and whatever. You have to, it wouldn't stop it. People would say instantly that we've broken up but we'd be back together anyway. It's not like if I give the answer away, it's not like it would make my life easier. So it's not like, you just have to sort of own when things will naturally, people want. And I understand, especially when you have two characters that are so coveted like this. I get it, but I'm gonna protect myself. And
yeah, that's good, and it's good that you are at a point where you feel, it feels like you feel that you have kind of owned this space, owned all this craziness, and you're a little bit more comfortable with it in terms of all the attention that's around you all the time. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, definitely. I had, like when I first started, I was so obsessed and concerned about like coming across, I didn't want to be insincere, so I didn't want to say the most obvious cliche thing. I didn't, like, instead of just saying, this is something that I put my heart and soul into, I love it, I thought that would come across fake, so I tried to be more thoughtful, and like, you just have to, I have definitely grown more comfortable doing this.
I saw the movie last night. Great job. Great job. You pleased?
I really love it. I'm so happy. Yeah, I know. I like the movie a lot.
Bella ain't happy though.
No.
Bella goes into such a deep depression.
Yeah.
How were you able to get to that point? And I understand that the scene where Edward leaves Bella, I mean, that really drained you a lot. That took a lot out of you.
Yeah. Well, because the way it's written in the book is so epic and beyond what we can even consider in our realm of reality, because it's like, we know what it's like to get broken up with, we know what it's like to be depressed and be sad, but this is now suddenly something bigger than, like, whatever you think you felt, more. Death.
Did you go to a past breakup, like a young breakup, to kind of tap into those emotions at all?
I mean, I have absolutely thought, like, been sure of something and then been told that I was just dead wrong, and so I can totally relate to that. And I did, kind of, but, like, this is so much greater than anything that I've ever experienced.
What was his name? Because I know I know he's like, doggone it.
Yeah, he knows. I don't have to say it.
He knows. See, go ahead.
But it's crazy when you know, like, okay, I've never been broken up with a vampire before, so it's like suddenly your job is much more, it's like, how do I have no reference, you know what I mean? So you're always trying to play like the most intensified, glorified version of reality, and it's hard. And it's hard to go back and forth because I also, in the movie, am very open and alive with another character, with Jacob. And so, like, in a day I would have to go back and forth, and that was really draining, but...
I think it's probably so many girls' fantasies to have two hot guys fighting over her at one time. Do you think?
It's a really, yeah, definitely. I mean, the story is like really ideal for the chick.
Right.
Yeah.
And the shirtless guys in the movie, they kind of push that along just a little bit, don't they?
We have a lot of shirtless guys.
A lot of shirtless guys.
But not for no reason. They're 108 degrees. They can't wear, you know, they phase, they rip off of them.
I think it's a very good reason to go shirtless.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
absolutely.
It's absolutely justifiable.
Absolutely justifiable. So, you know, the fans, they get taken on such a ride in this movie.
Hopefully, yeah, that's what we try to do.
Right, just such a ride. Can you just tell them, you know, we don't want to give anything away, but there's so many intense scenes. Bella is going through so many emotions. How has she changed from the first film?
Well, I think Bella in the first film, what I loved about her was the fact that she was willing to follow her heart wherever it led her. Right. And it was all about self-discovery and, like, you throw yourself into something that you don't know anything about, but because you feel so strongly, it's okay, and that should be a good enough reason. You shouldn't have to give, like, pragmatic, logical reasons why you're doing something that you love. When that's taken from her in the second one, she just matures. I mean, it's, you know, she just knows herself a little bit more, and there's more. I think that she's in a position where you believe her more when she says, "I know what I want." Right. I'm willing to accept the consequences of my choices, and it's like, okay, you've been through it, girl. I believe you now. You know what I mean? It's like, but before it was sort of like she was so young, she didn't have any life experience. Right. Now it's like she's becoming a woman slowly but surely. But by Breaking Dawn, she'll be like top dog.
Before I let you go, let me ask you some fan questions that we got. One person would like to know, who do you think would be a good husband, Rob or Taylor?
I'm sure they would both be great husbands. I'm not sure. They both have really different... Taylor's like one of the most steady, sort of sure. Yeah. He's great. Like he's really just like a good guy. And then if you like if you're into... Rob is like a really more sort of analytical, thoughtful, like, you know, wishy-washy intellectual. So it depends, like, on what you're... They're both good guys.
Do you believe in loving two people at once?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah, oddly enough, that's Eclipse.
Yes.
That's what I just actually left. The love triangle that we're sort of setting up in New Moon is like actually really comes to fruition, and Bella has to deal with that particular subject.